Thank you for liking this video, hitting that notification bell, and subscribing to the channel. Go Spurs, go.
I really do, taking a step back, I really do have high expectations for them because I don't think that they ever had the opportunity last season to have a full, healthy roster, mostly because of the fact that Derrick White was either hurt or sick throughout the whole season. And I think that Derrick White is probably the most underrated player in the Spurs alone, but also, you know, in a majority of the league, he's very underrated. He's probably one of the most well-rounded of the young guys that we have. Consistent when he's healthy. He's, you know, he's got so many great qualities. And I think that I noticed a few times this season when he was able to play, he brings something to the Spurs. The chemistry is just on a different level when he's playing. And I love, you know, I love all the Spurs guards, but I think that he has a way of incorporating the big guys, which was really helpful because we saw Jakob performing way better when Derrick was playing. That's something I'm really excited to see and hoping, just beyond hope, that he can stay healthy, because I know there's this whole like thing that people are like, oh, he's, you know, one of those players that's going to be injury prone and all this. I hope not, because he really is, I think, the key to the Spurs' success. There's a lot of keys. I think Keldon's one of those keys. DeJounte he showed incredible growth from, you know, 2 years ago to this past year. And there's really a lot more to be hopeful for than to be despairing about. So I have high expectations. I think they really could end in playoff contention at the end of the year if they have a healthy year.
And I would go as far to say is he honestly is the opposite of injury prone. I think he's actually incredibly tough. Like, this dude gets hit in the face at least 5 times a game. He's putting his body on the line on a charge in the middle of the court at least 2 or 3 times a game. You know what I mean? He's not afraid to get dunked on either. He's going to go for that block and stuff. Like, he is very aggressive, and he puts his body through a lot. But I think what happened this year, like you said, it was so unfortunate. It was just that bad luck coming around for Derrick White. I mean, he missed the beginning part of the season because of the toe, right? And then when he came back, he who injures the same toe in the same game, and then they're in your first game back? Who does that? Like, when does that ever happen?
Oh yeah,
that is, you just gotta chalk that up to bad luck. I mean, come on, he was out forever. It's not like he rushed back or anything. You know what I mean? Like, so that was just unfortunate. And then the COVID thing, it was just like, oh my god. But you're absolutely right. A game that I remember from this past season was against Charlotte, where DeJounte and Derrick White together combined for like 59 points or something. Like, it was one of the best games from both of them together. And I think that's absolutely right. I think he is ultimately the main key that's going to start that ignition for whatever the car looks like next year. We don't know what the car is going to look like, but Derrick White definitely should have the keys to that car. I mean, great point about utilizing big men. Derrick White is really one of the only guys that can create for the big guy.
Right.
And something that he did very well was play with LaMarcus Aldridge. He always knew when LaMarcus was like sealing early or pinning late or whatever. He just always had eyes for his bigs, and we need that. We definitely need that.
Yeah, his court vision is probably superior among the guards of the Spurs, probably because of his experience and age. But what I also noticed is that in the games that he played, the other guards sort of rose to his level instead of, you know, just sticking out where they kind of were performing. I noticed DeJounte incorporating some of that, you know, wider view of the court when he's out there at the top of the key. You know, he's a young guy, but he's still a veteran. Having that experience to be able to pass on to the younger guards is super, super integral. And I think, you know, I know there's like people out there saying that, you know, he could potentially be gone. I have no doubt that the Spurs would keep him. He's super important, and he's going to be a huge asset to building the team around whoever they decide to build it around. But I do think the young core is going to be a huge, I hope that they, you know, transition finally to developing the team around the young guys, because I do think they can take it and handle it. And I think Derrick has to lead that.
Yeah, thank you for liking this video, hitting that notification bell, and subscribing to the channel. Go Spurs, go.